Is a sponsored program paid for by Yaba TV.
Welcome to our beautiful show, the Yaba TV show. I am not your host today. Tiffany Hurd is your host. I have a very special moment with Tiffany Hurd. It's a one-on-one exclusive interview with me, C.S. here, the host of Yaba TV. We have something that is very special today. I wrote a book, My American Dream by C.S. here. This book, I'm going to talk about it, and Tiffany will actually get to be up close and personal with me. You get to find out a lot of things that you don't know about me through this book. So you are in for a special treat today. We are coming to you from the ocean in Long Beach Boulevard. And as you can see, I'm at the seashore at the beach. It's one of the best sceneries that takes me to memory back to Sierra Leone, where we have one of the best beach scenery in West Africa. Well, tell your friends, tell your neighbors about our show, the Yaba TV, as we come to you today from Long Beach Boulevard at the ocean. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hello, my name is Tiffany Hurd, and yes, we are doing things a little bit different today. I'm going to be interviewing Cia, the woman of Yaba TV. We are here to talk about her upcoming book, and we are going to get close and personal. So her book title is The American Dream. So tell us, why did you come up with that title of The American Dream?
Good question. Wow. It feels so different being interviewed instead of I'm the interviewer. So anyway, my book, My American Dream by C.S. Sear, is comprised of all of the different activities that I've been doing from the time I was 9 years old, when I conceived the idea of creating a platform to disseminate information to Africans and African Americans, that thing today called Yaba TV. So that's My American Dream.
Interesting. So let's go back a little bit further. Let us know what was it like growing up in the village? I visited villages, and it's always interesting coming from another perspective. So tell me, what about your childhood?
Wow, very interesting. A typical day, you're hanging out with friends. They braid your hair, you braid their hair. You go to each other's family, you cook, and the food is in a big plate or a big bowl. You wash hands and eat from the same plate. Sometimes in the city it's different. Everybody have their own plate. But in the village where I grew up from, the food is in a bowl. Everybody wash their hand, dip your hand in the bowl and eat. It's like love. You grow up with love, sharing and loving each other and speaking each other's language.
And that is an interesting concept, because in America, we don't share. So in Africa, I love how there is this family atmosphere. And so tell us a little bit about moving. We all know moving from city to city is difficult. Tell us a little bit about moving from Africa to America. What was that like? Did you face any challenges? Was it positive? Let us know more about that.
Well, traveling is always an interesting adventure. When I was leaving the village, first, before I came to the city, I was living in the village, and I've always wanted to come to the United States. And God has a way of connecting you to your destiny helpers. So I had an opportunity to meet with James Meredith, who happened to be the first black man in the history of America to attend a non-black school at the University of Mississippi in the 60s. So with the protection of U.S. Marshals. So I met him in Africa with his beautiful wife, Judy Ossobrooks Meredith. His wife didn't go with him to the trip, but of course, he's married. And he actually liked my personality. He said, I'm a brilliant young lady. At the time, I was only 17. Wow. Yes. And so he sponsored me and brought me to the United States.
Oh, well, I had no idea. So I'm happy to just hear that story, that how you came here. So tell me a little bit about Yaba TV. What made you come up with the concept, and what age did you even think about a platform like this?
Well, like I said earlier, when I was 9 years old, each time they talk about Africa in the news, it was nothing good to hear. So I started having butterfly in my stomach saying, one day I want to grow up and create a platform where I can showcase Africa in a more positive way or a balanced perspective. And so ever since then, I've had that determination, and God has a way of connecting you to your destiny helpers, like I said. He connected me with James Meredith in Africa. He actually went to Africa to visit. I met him in Nigeria. I'm not a Nigerian, but my cousin is married to a Nigerian. So I came from Sierra Leone to visit my cousin, and I live with my cousin temporarily. And the compound where I live, the driver assigned to James Meredith was in that compound too. That's how I met James Meredith. So when he introduced me to him, the rest is history.
So you know that's God. If you just how you told that story, connecting this person to connecting that person, you never know who you're going to meet. So let's go back to the book a little bit. What made you decide to write the book? Like, where did that come from?
Well, the book is an inspiration to people of all color, everybody that reads the book, because there are certain times you go down the road on your life pattern, things may not go so well, but you don't stay there. Like Nelson Mandela would say, everybody will fall, but it's not how you fall, it's how you rise up and what you do. And so, of course, I had my times when I fell, but I rose up, and today I have my platform where I'm disseminating information to the world about Africans and African Americans and people in general.
And I think it's important to talk about the rise and the fall, right? A lot of times we hear about the positive things, but I need to know where you came from to where you're at now, because that's in itself, that's a story right there. So tell me more about, where can they find the book, or can they get it by pre-order, or tell me more about that.
Well, they can find the book on my website, yabamedia.com or amazon.com. But one of the beauty of yabamedia.com, I want to be able to have a community of people that rally around me through buying the book. Because one of the beauty of what we want to do is create a cultural center where we can teach African Americans the real African culture, and then African Americans teaching American culture to Africans, to nervous Africans that come to the United States. So it's a cultural center that I'm trying to achieve in building from the scratch to have that little African village in the heart of Southern California.
I absolutely love that idea. It reminds me of bridging the gap. I think there is a gap between African Americans and Africans. And so the fact that you are trying to build a culture center is absolutely awesome. And I'm glad that I could be on the journey to hear you talk about it. And I can't wait till the conception of it. So is it going to be kids? Is it going to be adults? Or to be all a mixture of all the above?
Because, kids are tomorrow's future. We're going to have a segment for kids, and they're going to have adults. We're going to have the elderly who pass on the legacies to the kids. So it's for all people.
I'm going to be front and center. I love listening to the elders. And this just reminds me of somebody being an elder right here, and the kids just kind of sitting below at their feet, just listening to the stories. There is, in the stories, that is absolutely the best to see, because we want to know what happened before us and where we're at now. So this is, I'm sorry, I'm excited for you. I think this is going to be an absolutely great project.
And something I want to mention to our audience, on the 27th of February, which is next week, on Sunday, we are going to have the book launching. It's going to be at 801 West Victoria Street, and that's in Carson, at 6 p.m. And the normal time that the show airs, Yaba TV, is 4 p.m. So enjoy the show, but after the show airs, make time to come and see us. One of the requirements for coming out, I do require a vaccination copy or a negative COVID test for 72 hours before coming to the event. We are going to serve free African meal And it's going to be our way of celebrating Black History Month. And of course, what better way can we celebrate Black History? Launching my book.
That sounds great to me. What kind of food are you guys going to have?
Well, tropical food. I'll just leave it like that.
I mean, jollof rice is my favorite, so I hope there's some jollof rice there.
Tropical food, well, you can count on that, because when you say West Africa, from Senegal to Sierra Leone to Nigeria to Ghana, we all eat jollof rice. It's cooked differently,
right,
but we all eat jollof rice. Of course, Ghanaians think that theirs is the best, and Senegalese think theirs is the best. Right. And of course, I want to say Sierra Leone is the best.
And I've been to Ghana, so I'm gonna vouch for Ghanaian jollof rice. Don't be mad at me.
No, it's okay. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm just saying that every African person acknowledges that their country provides the best jollof rice. Yeah. So I do want to wrap up with our dialogue with saying I do invite everyone to buy the book. There's more to the story than what you've just heard. Even for an African woman to have a platform on KCAL 9 is an achievement in itself. Absolutely. All of that is in the book. And for me to have a show on 94.7 The Wave is also an achievement. I would like to consider it an achievement.
You're making waves in Southern California, and that is exciting. And I'm here to say I am proud of you, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I encourage all of our listeners, our audience, our viewers, buy the book, My American Dream by Sia. It will inspire you. It will inspire your family. And those that have given up in life, believe me, it will inspire you. If you come to read and see the things that I've been through, the challenges that I've actually been through to overcome all of them and be to where I am today, it's going to get you somewhere.
I will be the first one to buy the book, The American Dream by Sia. But you can purchase it on Amazon or yabamedia.com.
My book, My American Dream by Sia, is a very exceptional book that tells my story from my childhood to the point where I am today on Channel 9, KCAL 9. The ups and downs of show business, how I got into show business, and everything that I went through and where I am today. Why I believe everyone that has a dream should persistently hold on to their dream and be able to accomplish it, and some of the things that you need to do to accomplish it. That's what all my book talk about. And of course, the detailed information about who Sia really is. So I'm going to read chapter 2, just excerpts of chapter 2 a little bit, and then I'll take you to another chapter as well. So I'll start with chapter 2, growing up in the village in Africa. Village life was so remote and sometimes boring. Although there were so many fun times that I remember with my friends. Two of my best friends were Veronica Kunduma and Medina Savage. We went to the same high school, and when we graduated, we had a very big graduation party, and we invited all of our friends and families. This party was so crowded, and we had such a great time. Up to this day, I remember this, and it's like one of my best childhood memories. We often cook, and we come together, we share food, and when we eat, we pour the food in a big tray or a big container, and all of us wash our hands and sit down on the floor and eat together as a sign of love. Something else that I remember quite clearly with our culture in Sierra Leone with my friends, we used to have a lot of parties. And when we do have the parties, we make what we call aishobi. It's like uniform outfits for weddings, for parties, graduations, birthdays, and any special occasions that we have. We made aishobi, and we wore it to celebrate each other and to love one another. That particular attitude that we had towards one another kept us going, living through thick and thin. It doesn't matter whether you're so poor or you're rich or you're middle class. We all came together as friends and we celebrated one another. One of the other things that I remember was when someone is getting married, we go the extra mile. If the person doesn't have all what it takes to do the wedding, everyone contributes. and we put together all effort to make sure that wedding goes very perfect. And today, even as I'm in America, some of my friends that are in Africa still contact me and reminisce on some of the events that we went to, especially weddings. So our culture is very unique. I'm not saying American culture is not, but through it all, when we come together, there's nothing like it. Very exceptional. Thick or thin, we are very well together. I'm going to read a little bit of chapter 5. Chapter 5 typically talks about show business, how I got into the show business. So if you ever wonder how I got into show business, my book, chapter 5, is going to tell you all about it and so much more. So chapter 5 says, how I got into show business. When I was 9 years old, I watched television in my village. Every time I do watch television, when I hear news about Africa, it was always a negative connotation. So I began to feel, why is it that when the media talks about Africa, or most of the media talks about Africa, it's always negative? So at that point, I began to feel within myself that I need to create a platform when I grow up, so I can have a platform to disseminate information about Africa, where we can have a balanced perspective about Africa. Our beloved Africa, so sweet, full of natural resources, full of fun, excitement, and so much peace. I'm not talking about the wars, I'm not talking about the starvation. Yes, every country has both good and bad, but when it comes to Africa, the enjoyment, if you have a little money, it goes a long extra mile. So, how did I get into show business? One day, I was watching television on Continental Cable Vision on Crenshaw District, and then I saw a TV commercial that says they are looking for a grassroots African to host a local show, and they would train the person to be a host of the show, and it will be a 2-year training, and they need someone that speaks very well and that can articulate. So I applied. When I called them, like a joke, they asked me, the first question they asked me, what country are you from? I said, Sierra Leone. They said, when can you come in for an interview? So I went in for an interview, and the rest is history. They liked me, they liked my personality, they liked my background with James Meredith, and they hired me right there and then. And the next day I started a 2-year-long journey career with Continental Cable Vision. We do need to take a quick break to acknowledge our sponsors, and then music video. We have come to the end of another beautiful show, the Yaba TV show. But we are on every Sunday at 4 p.m. right here on KK9. If you haven't seen our show before, this is it. But tell your friends, tell your neighbors about our show. We have a YouTube channel, Yaba Media. Go to our YouTube channel, watch some of our past shows. But I also recommend that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, follow us on Instagram, Yaba TV. Till then, we will see you next week at the same time on the Yaba TV show, your contemporary bridge to the motherland, Africa.
The proceeding was a sponsored program paid for by Yaba TV.